Before the words that would change everything, there was a journey. Jesus was traveling from Judea to Galilee, a journey many had taken before, a journey with options. There was a safer road, a longer road, a road that avoided Samaria. Most people chose that one. Samaria was complicated. It carried history, wounds that had never healed, arguments passed down like inheritance, names spoken with bitterness. Jews and Samaritans did not speak, did not eat together, did not share water. And yet, Scripture says something quiet but intentional. Jesus had to pass through Samaria, not by accident, not by convenience. He had to, because love does not avoid broken places. They arrive near a town called Sychar. The sun is high, the heat heavy. Dust clings to sandals and hems of robes. Jesus is tired. This matters. The Son of God sits down, weary, human, needing rest. He sits beside Jacob's well, an ancient well, dug by hands long gone, fed by deep underground springs. Wells hold stories. They remember thirst. They remember waiting. Jesus sits there, and he waits. It is noon. This is not when women usually come to draw water. They come in the cool of morning, in groups, with conversation and laughter. But this woman comes alone. She has learned the safest way to live is to be unseen. She knows the looks, the whispers, the way silence can speak louder than words. So she chooses the hour when no one is around. Loneliness can feel easier than being known for the wrong reasons. She carries her water jar, a familiar weight, a routine she has repeated countless times. She expects nothing new. She approaches the well. And then, something unexpected happens. Jesus speaks. "Will you give me a drink?" This moment is shocking. A Jewish man speaking to a Samaritan woman, a rabbi addressing someone with her reputation, a stranger crossing boundaries without hesitation. He does not demand. He asks. He places himself in need. Grace often begins by lowering itself. She is startled. "How is it that you, a Jew, ask a drink from me?" She is not being rude. She is being honest. She knows the rules. But Jesus is not bound by them. Jesus speaks of something deeper. If you knew the gift of God, he talks about living water, water that does not run dry, water that satisfies beyond the body, water that reaches the soul. She thinks he is talking about the well. She looks at the depth, at the bucket, at his empty hands. "Sir, you have nothing to draw with." How often do we misunderstand God because we interpret him through our limitations? She wants what he offers, but she doesn't yet understand it, and that's okay. Faith often begins with curiosity, not clarity. Jesus knows what she has been drinking from: relationships, validation, hope placed in people who could not carry it, 5 husbands, and now, a life that feels unfinished. She didn't plan for this. She didn't dream of becoming a warning story. She was searching, trying, hoping. Jesus does not interrupt her humanity. He addresses the thirst beneath the thirst, because everyone is thirsty for something, and not all wells satisfy. Then Jesus says the word she least expects: "Go, call your husband." Time slows. This is where shame expects rejection. She answers carefully, "I have no husband." Jesus does not correct her harshly. He affirms truth gently. "You are right." Then he names what she never volunteered, not to expose her, but to free her. He knows her, fully and still. He stays. Notice what Jesus does not say. He does not shame her. He does not threaten her. He does not reduce her to her past. Truth and grace stand together. This is the heart of God. He sees everything and loves completely. This is the moment everything changes, because being known does not lead to rejection, it leads to freedom. She shifts the conversation to worship, mountains, temples, correct places, but Jesus lifts her eyes higher. A time is coming and is now here. Not this mountain, not Jerusalem, but worship in spirit and truth. God is not impressed by location. He is drawn to honesty. You don't need perfect words. You need a surrendered heart. She speaks quietly now. I know that Messiah is coming. And Jesus says something extraordinary. I who speak to you am he. The Messiah reveals himself first to a Samaritan woman with a complicated past. This is not an accident. This is grace on purpose. She leaves her water jar. John tells us this for a reason. She came for water. She found life. When you encounter Jesus, old containers lose their grip. She runs. The woman who avoided people now seeks them. She doesn't preach. She doesn't argue. She invites. Come and see a man who told me everything I ever did. Her story becomes the doorway. God uses honesty more than perfection. Jesus stays 2 days with Samaritans. In their homes, love lingers. Faith grows in presence, not pressure. Where is your well? What place do you avoid? What truth do you hide? Jesus is already there, waiting, not to condemn, but to offer living water. You are not too broken. You are not too late. You are already known and still loved. You don't have to perform. You don't have to pretend. The same Jesus who waited at a well at noon waits for you now, fully known, fully loved. Rest here.